Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Akinola Verissimo, and you're watching a video on my thoughts on Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair, the newest game released by Playtonic and Team 17. Now, this game has had a bit of back and forth in terms of what this game wants itself to be. When the original Yooka Laylee came out, it was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. So there was a Kickstarter for it. It was something I contributed to. I was really excited for it because all the original people who made Banjo-Kazooie great were going to be a part of this wonderful game. And when I played the game, the first level was great, but everything quickly became repetitive, and I realized that, maybe I don't like platformers and collectathons as much as I should be. I think overall the game really fell flat, and so, it got its day in the sun, and everything was great. Fast forward a year or two later, and we've got this new game, Yooka Laylee, the Impossible Lair, which has transformed itself from a collectathon into just a straight-up platformer in the vein of, Donkey Kong Country 2, or Sonic the Hedgehog, or even Mario. And I thought to myself, how's this going to play? I mean, originally this was pitched as a collectathon. Surely it's not trying to reinvent itself right now, so alright, whatever, it did. And the feedback that I've gotten from playing has been nothing short of amazing. This is the way the game should have originally been. You go from running around collecting everything in the sun for no apparent reason to kill the bad guy, to trying to see how good your platforming skills are as you traverse these worlds that are colorful, have amazing music, and just remind me of the good old times of platforming. Because honestly, when was the last time you played a really good platformer that wasn't, Donkey Kong Country? This really takes it back to its roots. And a lot of the gameplay that you are going to see is reminiscent of Donkey Kong Country 2. Rolling onto things, rolling through tight corners and tight spaces, collecting items to make sure that you advance as far in the world as possible. Everything that made platforming great is in here. Dying never feels bad. There wasn't a time in the game where I fell in a pit or died to an enemy where I was like, man, that wasn't fair. There aren't any lives in this game. You can attempt the stages as much as you want, and by the time you have died on a really, really hard part, you're going to get through it and you're going to feel like, wow, this is what gaming is supposed to be. This is how challenges are supposed to be gotten across, and it's just great. And the whole purpose of this game is to collect these worker bees that capital B, the bad guy who looks like a obese bee, has taken for himself. And you're supposed to traverse through this final level called the Impossible Lair. Once you beat the Impossible Lair, you beat the game. The only bad thing is, when you go through Impossible Lair the first time, you don't have any defense. So unless you know the layer inside and out, you're probably going to die in the first 5 seconds, like I did. Now, as you go through the overworld and collect more of these worker bees to shield you, you'll have more chances to survive these awful, awful traps that are all throughout the layer, including getting stepped on, hit by enemies, falling into pits, climbing and traversing things that really, really seem impossible. It is a layer that has everything that would be dangerous to a platformer. And that's what makes it fun. So, you're going to steadily go through this impossible layer, and there are people who do it without getting hit once. Now, as reminiscent as it is in Donkey Kong Country, you'll see that Laylee, the bat, is on Yooka's head. That's your extra life. So as long as you guys are together, you can survive at least one hit and go through the layer. And you can also recollect Laylee back, so it's like collecting rings in Sonic after you got hit. As long as you two are together, you guys will be fine, and you can make it through almost anything, obviously except for pits. This is a speed-running game. I've seen amazing runs of going through the Impossible Lair without any worker bees chilling around you. That's something I can't do. I'm too old for that, but the challenge is there for people who want to try and go there without having to clear the rest of the game. Now, obviously, the meat and potatoes are clearing the regular stages, going through the intro level that teaches you all the mechanics about how to attack, how to jump, how to cross large paths, how to pound the ground, how to swim, all those good things. And once you're armed with that knowledge in the first couple levels, it feels like the sky is the limit in this stage. Every area of the overworld has its own personality. The music in each of the worlds just fits the overall theme really, really, really well. And no two levels really feel the same, which is nice. Like I said, every level has its own personality. Nothing seems super unfair. And if you die in a segment, you just gotta get good, try again. I mean, there are no lives, so you can honestly try as often as you'd like. Another great thing in the game are these power-ups that you collect that you can modify your size, you can modify your abilities, and really tailor your own runs to how you want. If you want Yooka to be big and have a big head, you can. If you want extra checkpoints in a level, once you find the area for that, you can activate that and make traversing the level a little safer. Equipping and removing these badges, these power-ups, are going to augment the amount of collectible, feathers that you get towards the level to buy stuff. So the easier that these power-ups make it for you, the less percentage you're going to get as you traverse through a level. But if you're a master, obviously it doesn't matter. You can farm as much as you want. You can replay a level as much as you want. And what's really cool is if you've ever played a game like Super Mario World or any other collectathon type game, you'll notice that in this overworld, there are little secrets that are all around the place that connect each individual area so that you can get to places that you weren't able to get to in the beginning. So exploring the overworld as you go from stage to stage is actually a nice distraction from just going from point A to point B to point C, and it really brings out even more fun from the game than I would have anticipated. The game is just fun. I played about 10 hours of the game before I thought, all right, I could definitely say something on this. And if you are a fan of Donkey Kong series, if you're a fan of Mario, if you're a fan of Sonic, if you are a fan of running around and testing your platforming skills, this is one of the most fun platformers I've ever had the pleasure of playing. And shout outs to Team 17 for giving me an access copy to talk to you guys about this. The game is hella fun. Play the game. It's one of the best values indie games that I've ever played. So if you're not playing, you're missing out on it. I wish that the Impossible Lair wasn't so hard, but that's not a shortcoming of the game. That's just a shortcoming of my ability. So obviously, once you collect all of the shield worker bees all around the world, I'm confident you'll be able to get through the Impossible Lair, beat the game on your own terms. But you are welcome to go through the Impossible Lair before you even do the first level. Just realize that if you aren't a platforming pro, you are probably just going to eat dirt in the first 10 seconds, and you're going to realize, man, I shouldn't have died there. But that's part of the fun. Repetition, learning, getting stronger through failure. That's what this game teaches, and it feels really, really good. Like I said, if you've played Donkey Kong Country 2, you probably already know how to play this game. Picking up objects, throwing them at enemies, swimming, everything is there. This game doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It gives its own personality through the kookiness and zaniness of the Yooka Laylee world. All the characters that are there, the Banjo-Kazooie-like aesthetic that they've got going on, it works for this game. It has a lot of good qualities. I mean, I could go on about this forever. The game is good. You should definitely get it. You can get it on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all those normal indie platformers. And let me know what you think of the game. So that's my review. There'll be more of these as I get my hands on more games, so thank you very much if you made it towards the end of the video. My name is Akinola Verissimo for the Team Attack Show, and until the next video, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace!